29 minutes past 9 o'clock, and this is News Tonight. Well, before we get into the details of our bulletin, let's first have the headlines. In our top story, Surrey University leadership arrested over alleged abuse of office. Doctor arrested for possession of illegal drugs. On the international scene, President Buhari to hold town hall meeting with Nigerians living in South Africa. Armed Forces Appreciation Motocross Championship on this weekend, and that's all in sports. My name is Patricia, the Common Sign Language. We are joined by Mugalu Mohammed. Let's dig into it now. 6 senior officials of Moroto Referral Hospital and other 4 from Moroto District Local Government have been arrested by the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, police officers who are attached to the Anti-Corruption Unit of State House for alleged abuse of office and poor administration. The officers include, among others, the Human Resource Officer of Moroto Referral Hospital, Dennis Katinda, the Principal Hospital Administrator, Mahwel Joffrey, Senior Hospital Administrator, Otim James, the Hospital Accountant, Joyce Palea, the Procurement Officer, Opio Ronald, and Internal Auditor, Eric Orom, who was absent at the present. The arrest of the officials follows an outcry by wananchi on alleged abuse of office by some of the medical personnel at Moroto Referral Hospital. Nepotism and misconduct of some of the medical doctors who allegedly sell drugs, refer patients, especially expectant mothers, to clinics in which they have vested interest. One of the medical doctors, Philip Akungulu, was particularly singled out as the main culprit, who was reported to have removed a uterus of one patient without her consent. He was equally arrested yesterday for his misconduct. The head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Nakalema, expressed displeasure to learn that the police did not take any action on reports by wananchi on the misconduct of some medical personnel in Moroto Referral Hospital. She was equally dismayed to hear that patients were referred to a smaller clinic, Nakapiliman, for further management. She promptly handed over the regional CID officer, Judith Namatale, to detective CID officers who are attached to the Anti-Corruption Unit, which is led by Detective Senior Superintendent of Police Barnabas Ndayishimye, for further investigation. Now, the affected Moroto district officials were particularly accused of not managing properly the provision of safe water by drilling boreholes in Nadunjet and Rupa sub-counters in Moroto district. Now, in Mityana, traffic police is investigating circumstances under which a link bus heading to Kampala from Kasese district lost control and overturned in a valley, injuring several passengers. The accident involved the bus rate number UBB 869 happened at Buwarula, Mityana district at around 4 a.m. Over 40 passengers were seriously injured after a link bus overturned Thursday morning along Kampala-Mityana highway, as you can see in those pictures. Now, eyewitnesses say that the driver lost control as he tried to save a boda cyclist. The police, led by the District Police Commander Mwine Mukono, carried some of the victims to Mityana Hospital and other hospitals for treatment. The traffic officers at the scene declined, of course, that this is something that the police needs to look into. Police led by District Mwine Mokono says that the traffic officers at the scene declined to comment about this particular accident. Now, with the Prime Minister's press unit, Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda has met with world leaders, heads of state and government heads of delegations and Uganda staff in New York. The meeting that included one with U.S. President Donald Trump were held on the sidelines of the 74th United Nations General Assembly and at Uganda House Conference Room, as we hear more in this report.
The Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, has been in New York where he represented President Yoweri Museveni at the 74th United Nations General Assembly. Rugunda, who also delivered an address to the United Nations on how Uganda is tackling and fulfilling sustainable development goals, climate change, environment management, security, terrorism, poverty eradication, and democratization in the National Development Agenda, also held key bilateral meetings with world leaders and heads of delegations. During the reception of heads of state and governments with their spouses, Premier Rugunda, with his wife Jocelyn Rugunda, held bilateral meetings with the U.S. President Donald Trump and his wife Melania Trump. The Premier also held a bilateral meeting with Iran President Hassan Rouhani at the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Issues discussed centered on trade, international cooperation between the two sister states, among others. During the week-long 74th General Assembly, Premier Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda held bilateral talks with the UN General Assembly Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the United Nations President Tijan Mohamed Bande, and their teams.
Yes, he did his PhD at Makerere University.
Yes, I know him very well. He's a student.
Yes,
he's a student.
And really,
yeah, he's a student.
He was a great guy. He died when he was in Washington.
Yeah, he was actually going to come to NIPS when I was DG NIPS,
yes.
just after his tenure at Washington, because he was actually our staff.
That's correct.
At NIPS.
Premier, who was heading Uganda's delegation, also met and held bilateral discussions with South African Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Naledi Pandor, Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Pamila, and former U.S. Ambassador to Uganda, His Excellency Carlos. Premier Rugunda, who was in company of Uganda's permanent representative to the UN, Adonia Ayebare, also met with the Premier of St. Vincent Grenadines and also attended the launch of the Global Hub on the Governance for Sustainable Development Goals, among others. The Premier, with his delegation, also participated in high-level talks about Somalia, where Ugandan peacekeeping force is doing a lot of work. The King of Toro, Oyo Nyimba Rukidi IV, Minister of Water and Environment Sam Cheptoris, for Health Jane Ruth Acheng, State for Foreign Affairs Okelo Oriem, and other senior government officials accompanied the Prime Minister to the week-long UN General Assembly in New York. Ambience. Dorina Sasra reporting for UBC News.
And in the health sector, Dr. Chebet Benjamin, the in charge of Budadiri Hospital in Seronku district, who was nabbed on the 30th of May 2018 in possession of illegal drugs, has been paraded before the media. The arrest follows heightening operations by State House Health Monitoring Unit after discovering the government losses at over total of 100 billion Ugandan shillings annually to drug theft by incompetent health workers in government officials.
That was the situation at Wandegia police station, where Dr. Chebet Benjamin, in charge of Budadiri Hospital, has been held following his failure to account for the drugs in government medical stores worthy 66 million Uganda shillings. Following a medicine stock reconciliation audit, it was discovered that the doctor was in possession of more than 49 boxes of coartem anti-malaria drugs. The value of the drugs is estimated at over 20 million Uganda shillings.
Of course, I must not say that all the thefts that occur, maybe at whatever magnitude, we are able to intercept. Some of them may defeat our intelligence, and they may succeed to take me either out of the country or to sell to the private practitioners within the country. And our patients, our public, still buy those medicines. Now,
Dr. Jera asserts that he will be paraded before the Anti-Corruption Unit Court for mention of his case, where he will be charged for theft of drugs.
You know, sometimes even what appears to be obvious doesn't look very obvious to the judiciary. They want, in black and white, every evidence. So after putting all together all the evidences required, and the DPP reviewed the files and then summoned the culprit. Unfortunately, he had gone into hiding. And we also had to use our intelligence network to get him. Eventually, we apprehended him. He is now in custody.
It should be noted that lack of professionalism by health workers directly impacts on government and gives injustice to the healthcare system in the country.
Now, definitely government is losing medicines, supplies, and other items in the health facility.
For this kind of malpractice to be eliminated, State House health monitoring officials feel serious punitive measures should be put in place to act as a deterrent to others with similar designs on government property. According to research conducted by the Criminal Investigations Department, drugs are sold to neighboring Southern Sudan and Congo due to high demand. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
Now, issues to do with electoral reforms. Officials from Uganda Joint Christian Council want Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, excluded during the election process. Officials from UJCC, led by the Executive Secretary, Father Constantine Mbonabinji, says that demilitarizing elections will create ease and confidence among other voters. They were appearing before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to give their submission on the electoral amendments, as we hear more.
The Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs is currently scrutinizing the 5 electoral bills that were tabled by the Attorney General in July this year. The bills in question include the Presidential Elections Amendment Bill, the Parliamentary Elections Amendment Bill, the Local Government Amendment Bill, the Electoral Commission Amendment Bill, and the Political Parties and Organization Amendment Bill. A delegation from Uganda Joint Christian Council, while presenting its views on the 5 electoral reforms before the committee, emphasized the demilitarization of the electoral process.
The use of police during elections is embedded in the law, but not the UPDF. The over-militarization of an election process threatens and intimidates voters.
Officials told the committee that much as security is paramount during elections, over-deployment of security personnel, especially the UPDF, creates a situation of discomfort. The council also opposed some of the sections, especially in the Presidential Elections Amendment Bill.
JCC recommends that UPDF should be left out in an election process. Two of the members of the Electoral Commission, which we propose should be revisited with the view to giving an opportunity to every qualified Ugandan to apply for appointment as chairperson.
They also observe that over-deployment, especially the military, keeps voters away from the polling stations. Uganda is, however, left with less than 2 years to go to the presidential and parliamentary polls for 2021. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
Thank you very much there, Susan Nawangana. In Vagabond Amendment, West Budama Member of Parliament Jacob Oboth has promised to table a private member bill seeking amendment of the colonial idol and disorderly law. This follows the president's directive ordering police to stop arresting people under this offense that he termed colonial. The president was this week addressing residents of Nansana, as we hear more in this report.
Early this week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ordered police to stop arresting people on idle and disorderly charges, calling it colonial nonsense. The president's directive followed continuous arrest of youth by police under the idle and disorderly law stipulated under the Penal Code Act. However, although the president ordered police to stop these arrests, this does not automatically annul the law. It's against this background that members of parliament are seeking clarification from the Attorney General on the validity of the law, whose implementation has been scrapped.
Honorable Speaker, the law still remains on the status books. People can still be arrested and people can still be charged. And the magistrates are not going to cite the president's directive. They will rely on the evidence either to dismiss or convict. So if this law is irrelevant, and so many other laws are irrelevant, they are archaic, and they have remained on the status books for so long,
Have taken upon ourselves the task that probably now, if you could guide further, if the Attorney General does not come up with it, we shall come and seek leave as a committee to process that amendment.
The West Budama legislator Jacob Oboth, however, has promised to table a private member's bill for this particular amendment should the Attorney General delay to pronounce himself on the issue.
Probably if the Attorney General does not come soon, it would be a ground for us to seek for leave, so that it's a very, very small amendment that would be just to delete this other offense. And
the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, has however directed the Attorney General to advise on whether to amend the law.
There are also others. There were one or two others which the Attorney General has also completely forgotten about. We could also handle them, and we delete those parts of the law. Thank you.
The idle and disorderly offense is punishable under the Penal Code Act, which provides for crimes and their punishment. The president's directive, though, seems to have been long overdue, since it had been protested by the prison officials and some human rights defenders. Susan Naunga, reporting for UBC TV.
Now, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Board of Directors is pledging to improve coverage to home states in the near future under the DTH, which is Direct to Home project. The board is also working on mechanisms to safeguard UBC land that has been encroached upon, as well as disposing of obsolete equipment from all the sites across the country.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation is finalizing the procurement of transmitters that shall improve on its spectrum in Ngeya FM Kasese and Voice of Bundibujo. Ngeya FM currently covers 3 kilometers radius, and the transmission site will be relocated to address this specific issue.
That particular site to Rubirizi, where I'm standing right now, on this mast here, that we can achieve a broader coverage to hit up to Congo border via Wera, to hit up to Fort Portal and the other side. All this we are doing them within 2 weeks. We shall carry out our tests to confirm that the signal is good.
There are some sub-counties even in Bundibujo itself that we are no longer covering, and we are no longer covering the eastern part of Congo. We are remaining with a very small part that is a place called Kamango. We are no longer going up to Beni site. So it has affected us so much when it comes to sales.
We have already planned for Bundibujo for a complete brand new transmission system where it will be more than 100% efficient, and it will give a very good coverage in the area.
The cost of power is extremely high to run the sites containing the state-of-the-art equipment.
Yeah, we have several hopes actually. We hope that the board will make a decision, especially when it comes to power. The issue of power can be solved in 2 different ways. One, maybe they can give us a backup of fuel, maybe by form of interest, or they can put something like a solar base, because solar would save us here, especially for the transmitter station. The issue is that when it comes to the transmitter station, we spend double of fuel than we spend for the transmission station.
In our master plan or strategic plan, we also have a provision of trying to deploy hybrid or renewable energy systems, whereby in this particular site, it is one of the recommended areas where we are going to deploy solar to do the lighting and simple operation equipment, which don't consume a lot of power.
Voice of Bundibujo and Ingea FM in Kasese broadcast 7 to 4 languages respectively, making them the best channels in their respective regions.
And Kasese, being a medium-sized municipality, has tight competition of 4 radios. Now the other competitor radios actually beat us in transmission, though simple surveys around show that we beat them in content and programming. So we widen coverage, we will be at the top.
As much as UBC is a national broadcaster, but also we are business oriented. Anybody up to business has got to look and see the competitors and how to outcompete them.
Some of them I know will be kept for as spares, and some of them will be disposed of. Some of them will go to the museum, because we need to create a museum where people can see where actually broadcasting in Uganda started. And it will, if we can make that, it can also be a source of revenue.
Technology keeps changing. Today you have this kind of transmitter, then tomorrow you don't need it. And most of this equipment is very, very expensive. But I can assure the public that we are headed to a straight path. We are doing everything possible to ensure that signal distribution is perfect across the country. We are looking at the national coverage, because our mandate is for national coverage.
The issue of encroachers, that one, many of the pieces we have visited, our engineers have been actually working tooth and nail to make sure that these encroachers are not so much, and I don't envisage any further problem. But the quickest solutions for UBC, we need to put marks on our land, especially in the boundaries, which are clearly marked UBC, and they should be high to at least 4 meters. So there are projects like the DTH. The DTH is a direct-to-home transmission, which will enhance the national coverage of the national broadcaster, and we are hoping that, just like the desire of our president, that he wants to sit in Kampala and talk to everybody. If we implement that project, it will be history now. It will be possible.
Want every Uganda to be able to receive information from wherever they are. So that is something we are working on, with of course support. We need a lot of support. We need a lot of equipment, high-tech equipment, but we are trying our best, and government is also helping us somehow.
And of course, it is day 3 as the UBC board visits the whole of UBC Corporation countrywide. We're going to take a short break, but do not go away. We do return with more on News Tonight. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998. With a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda, we created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Mommy, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Daddy, what's wrong?
I've had a long day, Angel, and I have a bad headache.
Oh, I'll give you something that will make you feel better if you promise to play with us.
Headache?
toothache. Unapoumwa, unataka kitulizo kwa haraka gani? Mara moja. Pain and fever reliever. A quality product from Beta Healthcare contains paracetamol, caffeine, and aspirin. Beta Healthcare, caring for all. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Apolokegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP center number.
Welcome back. News Tonight continues. Now, senior commanders and directors under Land Forces of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, have completed a 2-day basic and combat fitness test conducted at the Land Forces headquarters in Bombo, Luwero. That is, of course, happening in Luwero. Now, the exercise was supervised by fitness expert from UPDF's Chieftaincy of Medical Services and Directorate of Sports.
The Commander Land Forces Lieutenant General Peter Elwelu, with all directors under the Land Forces, division commanders, brigade commanders, battalion commanders, and other officers from units and other services have participated in a 2-day basic and combat fitness tests conducted at Land Forces headquarters in Bombo, Luwero. These went through a 5-kilometer run, push-ups and sit-ups as part of the basic fitness test. The combat fitness test entailed a 30-kilometer walk while carrying and wearing all the basics of a field soldier.
Right. We have come to the end of our exercise.
The Commander Land Forces, Lieutenant General Elwelu, commended the exercise, saying their work is very physical and demands that the force is medical and physically fit at all times in order to adequately fulfill their constitutional mandate. Elwelu said the program will be conducted annually and it will trickle down to all units under Land Forces. Major Dr. Dungo of the UPDF Medical Services, who was the exercise doctor, said the confirmatory test shows that they are as fit as they are reflected in their medical files. The head of the organizing committee for the exercise, Major General Paul Chanda, the Chief of Staff of Land Forces, noted that the Army plays a vital role in providing security in the country and must measure to the task at all times. Among the key field commanders who participated in the exercise were Major General Sam Okiding, Major General Sam Kawaga, Brigadier Stephen Mugirwa, Brigadier James Semwanga, Brigadier Joseph Balikudembe, Brigadier Michael Nyarwa, Brigadier Sierra Byanyima, Brigadier Bone Bamuseki, Brigadier William Bainomugisha, Brigadier Daniel Kakomo, and Brigadier David Simboa. 150 commanders in total turned up for the exercise. Bernard Riga, UBC.
Mugu Kushoto. National Information Technology Authority, NITA Uganda, has decried public vandalism of internet cables, which of course derails internet connection efforts in hard-to-reach areas. NITA's Executive Director, James Seka, underscores the need to embrace a subsidized internet connection, a government program which is currently ongoing across the country. He said this during an e-government consultative workshop in Soroti, where State Minister for Karamoja Affairs Moses Kizige urged Ugandans to desist from misusing social media.
that Ugandans seek government and public services on a daily basis, although sometimes limited by weekends and public holidays. This is the challenge, to which a solution is being sought through subsidized internet connectivity across the country.
Higher internet penetration improves our GDP. As you are aware, in our country, most of our population now are young people. They use the internet to do business, to create jobs, and the national backbone infrastructure plays a key role in that area.
Over the years, an extension of about 3,000 kilometers across 39 districts of national backbone infrastructure has been realized, connecting over 400 government offices. In Phase 4 of the initiative, Teso and Karamoja sub-regions of eastern Uganda are the latest beneficiaries.
We completed 3 phases. This 4th phase covers West Nile and Moroto. So we've come to Soroti to bring together all the district leaders of this region where the national backbone infrastructure will pass, so that they support the implementation of the project as we implement it to take it to Moroto.
Karamoja has frog-leaped from nothingness to internet. They didn't have the television era, they didn't have the telephone era. Now they are using mobile telephones. And this national infrastructure, backbone infrastructure, is very, very important to the people of Karamoja.
For Soroti, which is already connected to the system, some reservations have been made. The Soroti District LC5 chairperson, Michael Egonyo, wants internalization of what he describes as increased innovations.
If we are bringing these innovations, let them not be so frequent, because you are bringing another one when we want to acclimatize with the other one. It can cause us what? Problems.
For now, the public is urged to embrace the initiative and desist from vandalizing internet cables.
You would like to be able to, as a citizen, to have all your services find you in the comfort of where you are at. And that is why we do these services, so that we can stop people traveling so many kilometers.
The National Backbone and E-Government Infrastructure is a World Bank funded project. It aims at connecting districts and towns across the country, including government offices, via an optical fiber cable network. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Thank you, Henry Okurut. Now, government is drafting a national teachers policy to wipe out masqueraders in the education sector. According to the Ministry of Education officials, this policy will also see the national teachers' colleges in the country refurbished. Emon Ngawo reports.
Government of Uganda is developing a national teachers policy to regulate the education sector and curb irregularities among the practitioners. The policy will institute a teachers' council that requires teachers' practicing certificates to be renewed every after 2 years, regulating their code of conduct and ensuring timely upgrade for all teachers, among others.
And from then, many people, because we don't have enough money in terms of salary for teachers, so many people didn't want to join the profession, and so would get people who have not made it their first choice, and that has a challenge because they don't have their whole heart in it. So over the years, the professionalism of teachers continued to go down. You probably have seen it and have written it in your papers that some teachers appear at school but they don't teach. That's a sample, an example of lack of professionalism. So what we've been trying to do since 2013 is now to come up with a policy that guides the whole teaching service. And that's the teachers' policy, which we've just talked about. It has now come up with clear standards, requirements, improvements. How does a teacher become more proficient? How does he catch up with the 21st century, continuous professional development? All these things now are part of our...
The regulation comes in handy as the government of Uganda, in collaboration with the Belgium government, is constructing and rehabilitating infrastructure in the 5 national teachers' colleges to upgrade teaching facilities which had deteriorated over time. Kabale Teachers College alone received 18 billion shillings for the upgrade. 11 billion shillings is to be spent on infrastructure rehabilitation and renovation, while the remaining 6.3 billion shillings is for capacity building. The Belgium ambassador to Uganda, Rudy Verstraeten, says government needs to focus more on improving teachers' training colleges as a basis for boosting the quality of teachers in the country.
We invest a lot of money, Belgium and Europe in general, and all the community, the national community, in enhancing education. This is key for this country. You know that in Uganda, there's so many young people. I saw the numbers. 48.5% of the people, the inhabitants of Uganda, are below 14 years of age. That is that's half the population. So they all need education.
Delegates from the Ministry of Education, the Belgium Embassy, and teachers were celebrating the National Teachers' Day in Kabale, whose main focus was on capacity building. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBC TV.
Now, with Kampala Capital City Authority, it is to implement President Yoweri Museveni's directive of releasing street vendors and hawkers who were arrested by KCCA enforcement officers for failure to pay the fine of 1 million Ugandan shillings. While chairing the authority meeting at City Hall, the Lord Mayor Arias Lukwago said that this was long overdue and a technical team is to effect this in about 2 weeks' time.
Uganda Police has written to Kampala Capital City Authority requesting it to comply with President Museveni's directive of 1st October to immediately release people arrested by Kampala Capital City Authority enforcement personnel for failure to pay fine of 1 million shillings. The letter was read to councillors during an authority sitting at City Hall here in Kampala.
Can note over that later, and as cases we are going to consult our colleagues in the various government organs to ensure that we implement the directive. Of course, we have not been arresting vendors of recent because we are ensuring that vendors are given appropriate spaces in the city where they are supposed to operate from.
Tensions flared during the meeting after Lukwago read a letter from the former legal director, Charles Ouma, who was summoned to be given a fair hearing on how KCCA lost 3.7 billion Ugandan shillings in consent judgments signed by him. Ouma, through his advocate company, Ouma Tinyinondi, indicated that he is going to be out of office until 6th January 2020 and that he served the acting ED a handover report detailing the activities of the legal department during his tenure. Another letter from the acting executive director KCCA, Engineer Andrew Chitaka, was clear that these consents were illegal because the said applicants were not formally KCCA employees and not entitled to salary.
Since this has already been declared as an emergency, the authorities have got a corporate which can sue and be sued. The money we are talking about is public money. These are public funds as we have already explained. Why don't we, as we have done some in the past, instruct our legal department to institute legal proceedings?
That you've been empowered. The committee has done its work. CPAC did its report. Management has adequately responded on this matter. And it is now squarely in your docket to act as per the provision of the law.
Lukwago concluded that both Ouma and Caleb, now in office, are liable for the 3.7 billion Ugandan shillings loss, putting Caleb to task to explain how this illegality happened in the legal department.
Those processes were entered into. I was not a director. I was not a member of management. I was a manager. Litigation. Secondly, if you look at those consents, they don't bear my signature anyway. Stretch of imagination, it can be presumed that I knew the contents of those consents and I was complicit even in executing the same.
Being a corporate body, Kampala Capital City Authority instructed the Office of the Executive Director and Legal to institute charges against Ouma for the authority to recover the 3.7 billion shillings.
We have a case against him of professional misconduct, a case of fraud, perpetrating illegalities with impunity. So I see no justification as to why we should keep on procrastinating.
Meanwhile, KCCA has resolved to lay off the current leadership of Wandegeya Market since its tenure had expired and now needs a new leadership whose names are to be adopted by council.
Support the recommendation that the current leadership be aside. KCCA manages the market because this is a KCCA market.
We should maintain the KCC to take over the leadership of the market to avoid another problems.
We are here to take decisions for the management of Wandegeya Market. Period. We're not going to be blackmailed here. I have even some people saying votes. We're not talking about votes now. We are not talking about votes. Proper management of Wandegeya Market.
This was after aggrieved vendors petitioned the office of the Lord Mayor over mistreatment. However, some vendors disagreed with this decision, saying Lukwago is biased. I'm Nafka Farida and Sana Anet reporting in Kampala.
Well, let's go for another short break, and when we return, business is up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. Final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Measles and rubella outbreaks are still being reported in some districts in Uganda, putting the lives of our children at risk. In order to stop these outbreaks and maintain a polio-free Uganda, the Ministry of Health has planned a national measles, rubella and polio immunization campaign for all children under 15 years of age on 16th to 20th October 2019, starting 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. All vaccines are safe, effective, and free. Parents and caretakers are hereby asked to take all children under 15 years of age for immunization at the nearest health facility or immunization post. Ministry of Health also calls upon everybody to report any child with a fever and generalized skin rash to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately. This could be measles or rubella. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from World Health Organization and UNICEF.
All patriotic Ugandans in schools, universities, markets, or online on 5th October 2019, come dine and interact with the President at Kololo Airstrip in the Patriots Catch-Up Mega Party! This time, the President will receive your proposals on nation building personally. A great day to interact with the head of state. Drinks, foods, and entrance all for free. If you don't trust our size of plates and mugs, come with your plate and Kavera to carry some food. So mark the date, 5th October 2019 at Kololo Airstrip. The Patriots Catch-Up Mega Party organized by Balam and the National Patriots Secretariat. Powered by Radio 4 and Soon Susie.
Welcome to business as we start off with the UMA Showground. The Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Amelia Chambade, has commended Uganda Manufacturers Association for bringing on board small and medium entrepreneurs or enterprises, that is the SMEs, in the ongoing Uganda International Trade Fair. Chambade welcomed the resilience exhibited by the SMEs, which has enabled them to compete favorably with the big players. She revealed this while inspecting stalls of different exhibitors at the 27th Uganda International Trade Fair, which is currently ongoing at Umasho grounds in Lugogo, Kampala.
Local content is also very visible amongst the exhibitors or among the exhibitions. There are also foreign companies that have come in and would like to partner with our local companies here in order to either do trade or manufacturing.
By the names of Nabole Jamila from Mesha Steel Limited. First of all, I want to thank Bubu by Uganda Build Uganda for promoting our products and creating awareness to all customers in the steel industry for buying our products. And then I also want to thank our customers who have been able to purchase our products, customers from different areas, Eastern, Barra, Kabale.
My names are Lydia Mwesugwa, Managing Director, Mesha Steel. On the issue of Bubu, we thank our Honorable Minister, Amelia Changade, for the new concept that she brought up of Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. It has someone who buys a Ugandan product is really building Ugandan manufacturers. If you buy our chain link, for example, BRC, our barbed wires, you are building us, and even the next generation, you are giving more Ugandans jobs. If you buy my product today, you are giving 5 more people jobs.
Now, still in business, about 20 financial reporters have been trained on the use of data in enriching their news stories, features, articles, and documentaries. In another development, 50 border riders from Luzira stage have received training on road safety. These stories in our business roundup with Dennis Sigar.
The journalists from radio, TV and print media were trained on data mining, computer-assisted research and reporting and production of journalistic content for multimedia and blogs.
So the strengths of the media would be the classical media in the skills they have in reporting, doing analysis. And data journalism is adding to that. You enhance the quality of your reporting and you move away from the classical he said, she said thing.
At Makerere University, at the Department of Journalism and Communication, I'm glad to report to you that finally we have integrated economics and business journalism in our revised curriculum, which should be up and running in the next academic year that starts in August 2020.
The 2-day training was organized by Barclays Bank, which is rebranding to ABSA, and Rhodes University of South Africa.
We understand that you guys are journalists and not bankers. It's important for us to be able to share the knowledge that allows you to have the tools to interpret the information in the correct manner.
In another development, 50 boda cyclists from the boda stages of Luzira have received training on road safety practices. The initiative by Uganda Breweries Limited aims at curbing road accidents. According to Uganda Police, over 50% of road accidents are caused by the boda cyclists.
In most cases, these boda riders, they report accidents because they want to be favored. They report because at times insurance tasks them to produce a police report. Sometimes a person is knocked today, he reports after the week. At times the motorcycle is repaired, it is not inspected, but he wants a police report. Sometimes it becomes a challenge to us to do it.
The training is part of Uganda Breweries' 12 years no lost time accident celebrations.
The reason we do things safely is not because there is a consequence to it. It is because there is a promise when you leave your house every day. You have made a promise to your family that you will come back to them. These same people also carry some of our stuff. So if we're not interested in how they are safe, we're not also caring for our staff when they're out there.
On average, Uganda loses 10 people per day in road accidents, and a 2018 United Nations Road Safety Report estimates that accidents cost the country over 4.4 trillion shillings per annum. Dennis Ikoa for UBC Business.
And in sports, Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has refuted allegations in sections of the media that the chief executive officer, Edgar Watson, had resigned. Social media was awash Thursday with information that Edgar Watson had stepped aside from his role as FUFA CEO. And of course, other news agencies went ahead to speculate that the appointment of Watson as the new first vice president, a position occupied by the acting FUFA president, Justus Mugisha. This speculation comes in a wake of FUFA President Moses Magogo's stepping down over the weekend to allow corruption-related investigations on him by FIFA to continue. Let's hear more in this story.
It's very important for our stakeholders who are supporting the beautiful game in Uganda, our sponsors, our partners, the fans, the different delegates of the game, that is football, to note that Mr. Edgar Watson has not resigned his position, as unfounded rumors have actually circulated on social media. He's still the CEO of FUFA, and by virtue of his position, and even where people have reported that he's going to move up as a vice president, that position is an elective position by the Assembly of FUFA, and it is a 4-year term for anyone to hold such a position. And for anyone to become a vice president must be a delegate, right from the grassroots up to the regional or even a special interest group. So it's not very true that he has resigned. He's still the CEO of FUFA, and we believe that he will continue serving and honoring his contract, as of course given to him by the Federation of Uganda Football Association.
Now still in sports, Real Stars Sports Agency has once again held its monthly sports award in honor of the best sports personality. The awards held at Uma Showgrounds in Lugogos saw 14-year-old Chirabo Namtebi selected among the best athletes for the month of September. Namtebi won gold at the Kana Junior Swimming Championship in Egypt. The other winner on the day is Alon Orland, a motocross rider who won the 50cc category at the FIM Africa Motocross Championship in Zambia. Anukani Bright.
Then after Mr. Break, now we should have the executive president going there. They don't appear in the photos.
Well, it's time for us to see what's happening with the weather forecast with Molan Kenyana.
Once again, I want to welcome you to the Weather Center. My name is Molin Kenyana. Well, today evening, we are enjoying scattered showers across parts of the nation's capital. However, across parts of Kampala, we're seeing some scorching sun. Now, you weren't the only ones experiencing that. Today, we saw mostly sunny conditions across much of the country. And as of last night, throughout to morning, we saw some heavy showers across the Cortido. We had a total of 41.4 millimeters. We also had a total of 40.2 across Soroti. Now, looking at our satellites, we can see that the rain belt is now widely spread across the region. Now, that explains the scattered showers that we have across the country. And also, this might lead to a slight reduction in wet weather activities for the next couple of days. But let's move on to tomorrow's weather forecast. Well, in the morning, we're likely to start off with light showers. Those will be across the Lake Victoria Basin. And also in the country, we shall see upward sunshine, and that will be blending in with clouds. Now, later in the afternoon, we're likely to have light showers. Those will be across the northwestern, across parts of northern Uganda, as well as the eastern. Also likely to see light showers across the western stretch, and also in the country we shall maintain intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. We move on to our daytime highs, where we're seeing a maximum of 27 across Kampala. We shall have temperatures going up to 28. That will be across the Karamoja region, and Kabale Highlands temperatures will rise up to 24 degrees centigrade. Move over to some of the world cities where we're forecasting rainy conditions across the coastal region of Kenya. We shall have Mombasa temperatures going up to 28. We're also likely to have rainy conditions across Pretoria, but very warm weather expected over there. We'll have a maximum of 35 degrees centigrade. And with that, we come to the end of today's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good day tomorrow.
Well, that's it from us. My name is Patricia Lokoma on Sign Language. We're joined by Mugalu Mohammed as usual. And of course, UBC TV continues with its programming, but from us and the entire news team, it is a good night.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Well, dear friends, welcome to our program. Once again, we are here to bless you tonight, and I'm sure you can overcome your situation, your problem. Maybe people had said to you, it is hard, it is not possible. I can tell you it is possible. It is possible for your family to be united, for you to get rid of the sickness. It is possible for you to be happy, to find joy. It is possible for you to experience the good things that God has for us. Watch now what God did in the life of this person that came to the church, destroyed, broken. But look now what God had done.
At the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God.
Within myself, I had a lot of complexes, insecurities. I had a lot of anger issues that stemmed from, being